Planters Bank was founded in 1946 by farmers and business owners because they needed a community bank that knew them and understood their business. A lot has changed since then, but Merchants and Planters Bank is still employee-owned and operated, and we're still committed to knowing and understanding the needs of every customer we serve. Great rates, fast turnarounds, and experienced local bankers ready to work for you. That's why you should choose Merchants and Planters Bank. Stop at any of our 12 locations or contact us at mnpbank.com.
Welcome you to Sports Unleashed, Cable 15 TV, Facebook Live. David Black, that is Hayden Schultz down there. Coach Brian Reardon right there. Josh Nation is behind the camera and doing the technical directing once again. We welcome y'all to another edition of Greyhound Football. That's the head coach, AD, at Newport High School. What's happening, man? Everything good?
Everything good, man. We're still playing football.
Another week.
It's cold. It's football season now. It's just started.
We're going to rehash some of that stuff. We want to talk about last week's game. We're going to look forward to this week's game, which is it's a repeat. It's a repeat. So
it's rare, isn't it?
Very rare that you would get to play somebody. You know, that's the way they seed you in the conference. But I want to talk about our conference overall. Did fantastic. Almost a clean sweep. Talk a little bit about that.
You know, I went to the conference meeting, and, you know, you do that at the end of the regular season, and you do all the voting, all the accolades and all that. And I said, guys, I don't want y'all to take offense to this. This conference was a heck of a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Right, yeah.
I said I had no idea what I was getting into, and I just thought, I looked at the names and thought, you know, we ought to roll through this. And, of course, you know, Melbourne won the conference. We didn't roll through anything. We had a lot of tough games. And then turn around, you rolled in the first round of the playoffs, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4 seed all win, and your 5 seed, Perryville, went 2-0.
Almost.
Lost 20-14. And the story is they were driving at the very end.
Yep.
And got pretty close to making it a clean sweep. So, we have a thread, and, you know, I got on there instantly and said, man, the conference showed up tonight, didn't they? And everybody was like, man, yeah, absolutely. You know, and so they just go show you a lot of people. I remember during the year we'd get frustrations like, you know, y'all only won by 2 touchdowns or 3. I was like, these teams ain't bad.
Right,
yeah. And now you see it. They're proving it, outside of the conference now. So
anytime 4 out of 5 out of your conference win, that says, I don't care who you play, that says something about your conference, because you're talking about 3 and 4 seeds who have to match up with virtually higher seeds than that out of somebody else in the conference.
Travel a long way.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Perryville had to travel all the way to Osceola and almost pulled that off. You know, obviously Quitman went to Hoxie, you know, and that's a tough place to win, and went over there and won a ball game. So Salem had lost to Walnut Ridge earlier in the year by 1 and beat them 36-7.
Yes, sir. They're playing well. Salem's playing well.
Yep. And of course we handled ours, and Melbourne ran away with hers, and everybody's still getting to play for the most part. You know.
Hey, are you shocked at the conference, the way the conference played Friday night?
You know, when coming into the season, when they gave us, you know, the conference and everything, and you kind of look at everything, you go, you know, you think you're going to roll.
Right.
And you just see the names, and they're not
That's it.
historic programs.
Right.
Kind of like, you know, that old conference. You had you had Hoxie, who's been relevant the past few years. Even Walnut Ridge always
good.
So when you were looking at the conference, you're like, there'll only be 1, maybe 2 teams after the second round, you know, get into the playoffs and play at a high level. And kind of like you said, you know, when you beat a team like a Salem, You only beat them 3 touchdowns. You're like, man, we should beat them by 50.
Right. Yeah. Not so. Yeah.
And then they go down there and they just wax Walnut Ridge, and then they've got a tough challenge this week. So, very proud of the conference. Showed up and kind of puts a little credit to us, kind of what we did with those teams and beating those teams, showing that they're not bad football teams, kind of like Coach Reardon said. So
it was a great quarterback conference.
Every
absolutely
Salem, even though the quarterback didn't throw the ball a ton,
he was one of the most competitive guys on the ball.
Yeah,
he was a speedster too.
Yeah, just hardcore physical. Ran that outside veer, which I'd never defended to for perfection. Sometimes, just tough. And I told those guys that I said I was in that 4A for 12 years, and we never had that depth at quarterback.
Right.
They usually find an athlete throwing back there, at Stuttgart, Lonoke, or somewhere, and they could either throw or they could run. They really could do both, and most of the time they were just really probably would have been better off at receiver or somewhere else. But this conference, I was like, man, these guys, including our quarterback, including our 2 quarterbacks, that's just a deep quarterback conference. It was a deep conference. So we were all, the good thing is when you get to playoffs, we all cheer each other on, except for now, us equipment can't do that anymore.
Right, there you
There
go.
was probably 4 quarterbacks who deserved All-State
Well,
in our conference, honestly.
I can't talk about All-State.
Well, I would just say this. I would say that Marshall, I think, is played as an All-State quarterback. I would say that Quitman's quarterback, what he's done has been phenomenal. Obviously, Melbourne's quarterback, and then
I'd assume he'd probably
who was the other one?
Conference.
Perryville quarterback had a great quarterback.
I thought
and Salem's. Who wasn't? They're all good. They're all good. It was a conference filled with great quarterbacks, tremendous leaders, and those guys get out there every Friday night and they compete, and that
Great
what
coaches,
makes
too.
absolutely great coaches in this conference.
It really is.
And you look at the conference overall, and as Hayden said. You look at it from the very beginning before we start. We go, well, we like our chance here, We're going to rock and roll. Well, these teams were a lot better than what we anticipated them to be. Look at Melbourne, 11-0. Who would have thought that? Stu Smith told me, he said, look, I know we're going to be a good football team. I know we're going to be. He said, these kids will work hard. He said, now I don't think anybody, including Stu, would say, yeah, we're going to be 11-0, but I know this. They're 11-0, and they're rocking right now, and those kids believe in what they're doing. And you look at our bunch, and you say, look, we had a change of coaching staff, completely new staff coming in here from top to bottom, and so you don't know. You certainly like what we brought in, and you go, look, we're going to have to start from the bottom, but you got great coaching, you got good kids, you've got an outstanding program. So, overall, it's been a fun year, and you get to this stage of the year, it's where the fun starts. It's a little colder than what I like. It's a little colder.
Practice today was, it was.
How was it?
Try to get him going. Had to try to get him going. Well, it's hard to try to get him going, and I don't ever want. I hope they're not watching, but I was over there like, man, I'm freezing.
It's cold out here.
I'm freezing.
And I know Timmy Brandon was cold because he hates it worse than I do.
He hates it. But it was quality practice. I will say that it was a quality practice. We got in what we needed to get in, and then Tuesday. To me, the bread and butter days are Tuesday and Wednesday. But it was a really good Monday practice today.
Here's a question for you. You get into the routine of, we play the non-conference schedule, and then that the routine of practice really doesn't change, but you've had to make some changes along the way to best suit your team. Yes. Does it change much in playoffs? Does the routine as such?
I don't know if the routine does, but at some point, the philosophies could be different on this. You might think, oh, hey, we're going to practice longer now because we're in the playoffs. But
right.
Really, you shouldn't have to practice longer when you get to this point in the year, and they should know all your base stuff, and practices probably shouldn't be as long.
Right, I agree with that.
And we're not necessarily cutting it. We're going about 2:30 to 4:30, and we end with film about 15, 20 minutes at the end of that. We found that suited this bunch a whole lot better. They didn't like coming out of the classroom and go sit in the film for 20, 30 minutes, and then it just zapped them, So
right.
We said we're going right out, so they love it. It's a high energy bunch, and they do way better with the film after. So we're 2:30 to 4:30, and then Thursdays we're going to do our hour, and then get on out of there. But probably we're still. They love pads. They hate coming out on Thursdays without pads on. So Thursday we put pads on. First time in my coach career, they put pads on Thursday. We hit. They love it. It's just, so you have to adapt your kids, man. And I'm telling you, I used to do Mondays and Thursdays no pads.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No, we don't. We don't do that here. This bunch wants to put them on. Helps their focus and it helps to get a legitimate price in. So like I said, we're we're gonna keep to that. Like I said, the routine's been cut a little bit. I mean, we don't do as much as we did in
Right.
September. We were out here till 5:15, 5:30 some days. If you're still out there that long this time of year, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, now Haynes the guy. He's the one. He'll tell you, and he'll tell you again. Tell us about how much you love practice and.
Hated practice. I just didn't understand. I get the repetition and going out there, but when, like you said, it's second round of the playoffs, you don't know what this play is. You don't know what to do.
You're in trouble.
You probably wouldn't be in the second round of playoffs.
That's exactly right.
We got to run it again. I'm like, I play center, and I can tell you what the outside receiver does on this play.
Right.
I can tell you every single guy what he's got to do on this play.
Yeah.
And we're running this play again.
Yeah.
So, no, it was not
Different
a practice
philosophies. Some people like the long ones and go long. Some coaches do it for themselves. And I try not to be like that. I really do. I try to think, yeah, it'd make me feel better if we was here till 5:30 because we're putting that work in. We're putting that work
Right.
in. But then I also got to be realistic. How much better are we getting that last hour? I mean, you're probably not.
Let me ask you this. Does your philosophy change in that sense from year to year depending on your group of kids?
I definitely you adjust on your group of kids.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say yes.
Yeah.
Some years you get kids that really like the film study and they'll buy into it. Some years you don't, and some years you got those kids that want to go pads every day. And some years you can take a Monday, Tuesday off because they can still get through a Monday, Tuesday or Monday, Thursday practice without the pads on and still focus. But it's just I enjoy that part of it though. I wouldn't necessarily want it to be exactly the same every day, come year, every day, come day. Why not mix it up a little bit and have a little fun? But I take pride in trying to adjust. I keep my core values and principles and philosophy intact the best I can. Then I can adjust. If you can't adjust, adapt or die. Everybody says
Sure.
that.
And you have to do that during the game. I mean,
do that during the game.
not only at a halftime, people talk about halftime adjustments. I mean, in today's football world, you have to make adjustments every series, and sometimes, during the series of plays that you're.
Every time you see me call a timeout, that's what
you're making an adjustment right then, aren't you?
I don't use our timeouts. I mean, it's not like I don't save them for the end. And this bunch right here, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. When I call timeout, most of the time it's on defense.
Yeah.
It resets their mentality. And I don't know if y'all noticed, about 90% of the time, they'll end up getting a stop right there.
Right.
And a lot of times I'm not necessarily making some magical adjustments. It's just, you're getting off key here. Get refocused. I said I need to reset. I said it Friday night. I said we need to reset. So we went out there and got a reset.
Kids just got to shake their heads and go, yeah, reset.
And they do, and they just get right back into it. Great job, LeVar Neal and Rashad Billingsley and Joseph Morris, our head junior high coach. He's on the sidelines with us now after junior high's over and very involved in our practices and everything. They did a heck of a job making adjustments early this week instead of waiting until later. And we were able to, that iPad's magical, man. You having that end zone camera.
It don't lie.
Boom.
I don't lie.
You'd have to wait till halftime or rely on the guy in the box. I think this is what's going on. I mean, I don't, because you can see the interior, but not perfectly.
Or rely on a kid and say, why is that kid whooping?
Exactly.
He's not whooping me. He's in that gap.
Yeah.
Well, no. Look at here. I got an iPad to show you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I need you to get together here, bud. So
Let's go ahead.
I thought they did a great job of adjusting early on. I call myself the guys from the defense, but they're doing a lot. It's hard to manage the team, manage the game, and all that, and do that. So those guys are doing a phenomenal job. I thought that was the best Friday night, quickest adjustments we've made all year. I thought.
Well, and you go and you play a football team, and you hope you're at your very best, and you've talked about it all year long. You hope you're playing at your very best, week 7, 8, 9, and then going into the playoffs. But it's just one of those deals where we've had some injuries. We've had some guys get hurt throughout the course of the year. We have to change quarterbacks. Quarterback, change and then you have several guys just go down, and we've made other adjustments. But we're not the same team that we were. But then again, this team that we're playing again for the second time this year, Quitman, they're not the same team they were either, and we're probably both better. But we won that football game 44-26, and it wasn't a 44-26 ball game. That was a close ball game when we played those guys.
I think it was 26-28 at one time, wasn't it?
Yeah, 28-26. That's right. Yeah, and then we get 16. Yeah,
we ended up. We had a block punt early on that we were able to, capitalize on, and then there at the end we had a pick six to kind of we felt pretty good where we were at, but that
Sure.
made it look more than it
Right.
really
Yeah.
was,
Absolutely.
you know?
Yeah.
This team, it's scary to see the same team twice. You know, you're like, you know, do you go in? I mean, I'll tell you, it's a whole different mind game. Do we go in and do the exact? We scored 44 points. So we're thinking, do we just keep doing the exact same thing? I don't. You know, they're going to adjust. They're going to know because we're sitting there going back and watching our film against them. Absolutely, they are
Sure.
too. And they're going to look at what they were successful at. But are they going to think, oh, hey, they're going to adjust to that. We're going to do something different. Yeah, we're going to adjust to that, and they're going to adjust to what we're successful at. So it becomes more of a chess match even than it was the first time, and so it's kind of difficult to play the same team twice. And hopefully, just equally for them too. The good news is they have to come to us again.
Absolutely.
I love playing at home, so that'll be a good thing. And he's a great coach, so we're going to prepare for everything. You know, they looked like they probably played their best defensive game of the year Friday night against Hoxie.
You go to Hoxie and win,
Yeah.
you have a feather in your cap.
Oh yeah.
Feather in your cap. If you can go to Hoxie and win, there's so many variables that you have to deal with at Hoxie. And I mean, they always have a great crowd. And I mean, it's just a tough place to win, and they went in there and did just that. You know, Melbourne went in there and won 30-20 earlier this year. Tough place to play, and you got two of our teams in our conference that go to a tough place to play, and they win. Yep. So that kind of tells you something about our conference. But I mean, how the kids this week? I mean, what's the mindset of playing somebody again from their standpoint?
I'll tell you the personality of the senior class, and this is they don't care who they're about to play.
Really?
They do not care.
Doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
We're ready.
I don't even know. Sometimes I don't even bring it up. I mean, they just roll in and they're ready to go.
Fun.
I mean, it's just that's how they are. And that's. I used to have to give pep talks, you know, or outside. They don't even. They just ready to roll.
They're just ready to play.
Let's go, coach. We're ready. I mean, they don't care who's next, and that's a good thing. I mean, it can be a good thing. You know?
How you talk about expectations from a former player, you know, just, I mean, we're there where we need to be, and then you got a big ball game coming up Friday night. Now, did you ever have to play anybody again? Did you have to play somebody in the regular season and play?
No.
That's when I was in high school, but
This
that's
is
100 years
rare.
ago.
It's
Very rare.
I've never coached in that situation.
Well, usually it takes an upset like that to
Yeah,
happen for
Sure.
you to play. I mean, that was a 4 seed having to play a 2 seed, going on the road and playing them and beating them. So no, I've never had that. Expectations always, you got to win 2. I think so.
Right.
I think that should be the bar for Newport. Year in, year out, you got to win 2. You know, you need to go to the quarterfinals. You need to be playing on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Sure. That's a
something
big deal.
and I'll tell you right now, I never did it. Never got to play on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Never got to do that. Never won a second round playoff game. Got beat second round all 3 years. Well, senior year got beat first round.
Right.
So I think that's always the goal here. You know, you got to win 2, get to the third round, and then see what happens. You know, let the chips fall.
When you get to that point, everybody, I mean, really by the time you get second round, I mean,
Everybody's pretty
you
good.
kind of sift out the riffraff.
You
Moved on.
got your top 8, and they're there for a reason. And,
Yeah.
and I think that's always your goal is to finish. The top 8, top 5. Because you can probably weed out some teams that maybe on the other side that probably shouldn't have been. They got a worse matchup. They have to play somebody a little bit better than they are. We could probably beat that team, but not necessarily the team that we are playing that Friday. So I think that's the expectation as a player and as a town. I think you got to win 2. I think that's
Well, and it doesn't say you had a bad season.
No,
if you
I'm
don't.
not.
But obviously, and I said this to the kids, and I don't know, they probably didn't listen. They were just excited about the ball game. I think
Barbecue bacon burger.
Barbecue bacon burger.
That's right.
Barbecue bacon burger. But I have seen some great football teams, and I've seen some great football teams go into these playoffs and just go out there and just, not that they can't perform very well, but I've seen them go out and perform as well as you could possibly play and lose. We had a football team that in the Keedy era that played Watson Chapel here. We gained almost 500 yards, and they gained 100, and we got beat 38-35. And just sometimes it just doesn't bounce your way. Was you at that game? Yeah.
Well, that was one of that was Gordo, Matt.
Yeah.
That was his senior year, I believe it was.
Great football
Either
team.
Junior or senior.
Yeah, great football team,
Very good.
and got beat. And it just happens, but you got to be prepared. But if you win 2 and get, the coffee and donut that week it's pretty special.
Yeah.
It's pretty special. Talk about the special deal.
Well, I mean, Actually, my first year as a coach, I was at West Fork. We got to do that.
Right,
We
yeah.
went to the semifinals. We went to Prescott. We were up 18-0 at half. Lost 19-18.
Oh goodness.
Could have been a state championship my first year as a coach, but so I got to do it that one year. So that's it. As a player, I did it every year.
Right, yeah.
We probably went on a several-year run of doing it during the late 80s, early 90s, where quarterfinals. It was a long run. The quarterfinals was the worst.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the worst case
yeah,
scenario for
yeah.
a long time. So we got used to doing it as a player, and I hope the kids, they got to do it last year.
Sure.
And they're talking
Sure.
about it.
It's fun. Yeah,
It's a little
absolutely.
bit of
They got to
motivation
do
for
it
them.
as freshmen too, I believe. When
Oh,
got
did
to
they?
move up.
Okay.
I think they. Is that right?
What are you saying?
Well, I don't think
The
they've been
senior
quarterfinals.
class, were they quarterfinals their freshman year when they moved up? Is that not right?
Yeah, that was when in 16, maybe.
Am I wrong? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe they did. Maybe they
I
did.
thought that they've been twice now.
That may be right.
I could be wrong. I'm sorry.
I'll look that up. Well, that's kind of. I
Well,
want
hopefully they'll do it for a third time.
I want to get into talk about some individual guys that
Yep.
we've talked about, and I've always been the team guy. And the one thing that I've said 100 times to people down through the years is we have not done a very good job, and I'm talking about Newport, of keeping up with a list of our all-times.
Yeah.
Our all-time leading receiver, all-time leading passer, all-time leading. And invariably it comes up where somebody does real well, and you look at that and you go, that is amazing. I don't know. But we talk about we got a couple of guys that are knocking on the door of 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about those two receivers
Well, I
that you
know
got.
Kylan Kreitz at 946 yards, and we've been researching this week. We think he set the school record.
Right,
Top
yeah.
School records.
Right.
We don't think anybody's ever reached 1,000, and that's always a milestone there. Isaiah's close to 700 yards for this year, but he also had 760, 70 as a sophomore. Was hurt a little bit last year. Had 400 or 500 yards. They said he had a couple hundred yards as a ninth grader even when he
Right.
came up. He's over 2,000 yards a career. So we haven't found anybody. So if anybody out there can prove us wrong, we think that Isaiah is the all-time leading receiver in Newport Ground history, and we think that Kylan Kreitz has set the record for 1 year receiving.
Well, and the thing we talked about before we got on the air here tonight, one of the things, and I asked Billy Keating, and Billy said, well, a good thing, of course, we all knew, but up until about 10 years ago, we didn't throw the football a
No,
lot.
that's why
So-
it had to have been the last 10
years. Yeah. So has anybody caught the football for over 1,000 yards? Do you know of anybody that has done that, or 2,000 over a career? Even when Cash Forster threw the football for 3,000 yards one year and didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver, as far as he knew, and talked with his daddy Bobby Joe. But I mean, are you talking about some milestones and talk about the 2,000-yard rushers? We've had 4, I think, and had some great running backs down through the years, but not many of them got 2,000 yards.
2,000 yards is hard to get.
It's almost impossible.
DJ threw for 343 yards on that.
He sure did.
I thought,
Absolutely.
I mean, people have thrown for more than 340.
I don't know. I'm not so sure that you would need to
That's
find out
another
how
one
many
I was
cash.
thinking
Yeah,
about.
I mean that's. So we've had some great individual.
It's okay. Like I always tell the kids, I love individual goals as long as the team goals is the most important because it helps you strive to be a better player. I always had individual goals too, but I hope, but they also have their team goal still to win a state championship. And when you're in the second round of the playoffs, I would assume that's everybody's that's left.
Absolutely.
We're just lucky to be in a position that it's not very many steps away.
All my notes that I have right in there, and I've got a notebook full of stuff that's playoff related, yearly related, how we did in the conference, how many conference games we won, how many playoffs games we won, how each coach has done. But it's all been team oriented, and I think that goes back to Coach Keedy, honestly, because he was just he didn't really care who rushed for 2,000 yards. He just cared about were we playing for a state championship.
I'm all with you on that one too.
You got some stuff?
Yeah, 2020, 2021, the COVID year, is when the playoffs got pushed back. Do you recall?
Yes.
And that was a coffee and donuts, so their sophomore year.
Okay.
It wasn't a third round, but it was coffee and donuts. 'cause
I
it was
got you.
After I knew there was something.
There you go.
okay.
There you
It
go.
wasn't a coffee and donuts because COVID moved it
So
back.
you were kind of right and kind of wrong.
Kind of. I was.
Don't admit being wrong. Don't admit it. No, don't admit it.
We
Just
got
say
coffee and
got
donuts.
coffee.
that's exactly. And that was the question.
That's
How
it.
many years have we got coffee and donuts?
So they've got it their sophomore and junior year,
Okay.
trying to make it their senior year.
Let's
Three in a
Wouldn't
row,
that be
basically.
cool?
Oh, it would be cool. And you're right. Even as a I set personal goals as a coach. I've never been to the quarterfinals since my first, and I'm just gonna say that first year I was a glorified cheerleader back then.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was my first year ever did. I
Sure.
volunteered. They let me help with the linebackers, but I wasn't a significant part. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. I wasn't a significant part of what was going on. So do I really take credit for that? Not really.
Yeah, you should.
So as a coach, you like to get to the quarterfinals or better. That's a milestone for a coach also. So you know, so I'd love to get there. You know, Southside we had some pretty dang good teams. Second round. Arkadelphia, best team we ever had, state champion, second round. It was twice last year, same thing. So it was just always had a tough second round draw. But by the time you get to the second round, now quality football is already it's there. It is. You know, you might get an easier first round. We did. You know, Melbourne drew one and all that. If you're one or two, you probably get a decent, easier pool. But second round, you're not. You better play ball.
Two-part question for you. How much more, if any, the importance is it that you talk about getting to go as a head coach? How much more important is that, if any at all? And then how much more important, if any at all, that it's at Newport, Arkansas?
Well, it's certainly more important at Newport, Arkansas. I will say that. No offense to my people at Southside. I love to death and gave me an opportunity to be there for a long, long time. You know, as a defense coordinator, I felt the same pride as I was as a head coach, and I would think that, you know, everybody should take the equal amount of pride. The head coach isn't doing all the work. I promise you that.
Yeah.
So I felt the same pride that Kenny Simpson did when we were winning those games. And last year I was the head coach and he was the assistant coach.
Right.
We had a 9-3 season, almost won conference, missed by got called for a hold on the goal line. The last about 10 seconds left in the game, 20 something like that. I ain't getting into that. I ain't rehashing all the bad memories, but you know, we'll see. How about that? I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
But I took a lot of pride also as an assistant,
Sure.
and as these guys should, because everybody's putting in the same work, man. If not, you know, when it comes to digging into X's and O's and a lot of that stuff, you know, Josh Austin and LeVar Neal and Rashad Billingsley and Coach Tim Brown, they may be putting a little bit more than I am into it.
Right.
I'm a little bit more in charge of managing the program and PR, going to do
Sure,
interviews
absolutely.
and going to
Absolutely.
other things. So you know, a lot of times your hardest workers are the assistants. I took as much pride in it. I feel like it'll probably be pretty similar. But
Yeah.
being in Newport absolutely will be a bigger
We'll
deal.
ask you next week.
Being in Newport will absolutely be a bigger deal just because I'm from here and played ball here and got family, friends, everybody around, and coached half the kids on the team. I played ball with their uncles and dads and whatnot. So it certainly it'd be more special here for sure. I can answer that one. So there's your two-part answer.
Well, I played with their great uncles and their grandpas.
There you go.
Your uncles and
You
dads.
play with the big brothers.
And I played with big brothers. That's exactly right. Or their cousins or whatever.
Yeah.
But well, we're not going to keep you much longer. Just I always appreciate you taking time to join us and to talk about what we dearly love. And I put my little helmet out here, and I don't have my stripe on it. It's not my helmet, but it's Max's helmet. Max Black. He likes to put this
they
helmet.
have helmets when you play.
And we want to talk about we didn't get a chance last week to do the Fathead Pizza Collision of the Week. Last week, Tyler Ridley, who we ought to get him a pizza as big as his building. I mean, the hit he had last week, it was a pretty awesome hit. And then Noah Curtis gets it for this past Friday night, and Tyler was for the week before.
WWE style. He came down there with a clothesline.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Talk about the hit. Talk about that hit.
I mean, when it happened, I really didn't know what to say because I was like, now, are they going to throw a flag because of how – because he almost ran by the guy. He was coming down so hard, and that kid stopped and was trying to make a decision. He just stuck his arm out there and, I mean, just cleaned the guy up and ended up, you know – we try to give it to different people.
I would say as long as you don't get to their neck and head, you can take them out of the chest.
Right.
It was here.
There you go. I mean, that's you know.
But when it happened live, I was like, he just hit a clothesline on him.
Yeah.
So, Noah Curtis.
Great kid, man. Works hard, plays hard, breaks their heart every day. Gonna be one of those seniors gonna be missed. Glad for him. Tyler. I'm tired of giving him stuff. He's been lineman of the week.
I know.
He got lineman of the weekend this week.
Yeah.
But when you watch film, you're like, you know, we could say it's somebody else, but everybody will know it's not.
Absolutely right. Absolutely
it's
right.
like Colin Cry. I didn't. you know, for the first time this year, we were like, offensive player of the week. We were like, well, DJ Marshall, Isaiah Kendall, or Colin Craig. We were like, let's just give it to all three of them.
There you go. Sometimes you have to do that. I mean, sometimes you just can't pick one guy.
So we gave it to all three of those guys.
And I kind of got, you know, I kind of like, you know, I interviewed the seniors there, the, you know, week before last, and last week I said, let's just interview the Greyhounds. You don't have to interview them. Just, I mean, those kids, what is it that Colin says? Barbecue bacon cheeseburger. And the next time I interview him, I'll ask him, I'll say, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to ask him, I'm going to say, wacky cake, cinnamon roll, or barbecue bacon cheeseburger. Yeah. So Kylie Kraft's got something to say, and he's saying something good. Coach,
he's emerged as a leader of this team.
Yeah,
you know, honestly, he really has. Him and Isaiah Kendall have both, you know, and which surprised me because Kylie he's coming out of a shell, you know, physically and mentally.
Right. Yeah.
Because he was quiet. Isaiah, he'll tell you. Isaiah likes talking. He'll tell you that. So he's always been kind of like that. But and CJ Young's gotten a lot more vocal in taking on the leadership role. So you're starting to see the leadership come out of that bunch. Those three, I would definitely say, you know, Jacob Ozier's kind of been that guy for the linemen. You know, a lot of times the position groups, you know, the leaders and whatnot. But we've been super proud of those guys, and he's coming out of that. I thought he'd have been too shy to get on there and do that.
Right.
10, 11 weeks ago, to be honest with you. So that's another thing I liked about you guys bringing them in here, and I like to take them to when I do any kind of speaking.
Oh, absolutely.
Introduce themselves and get better in their social skills and moving forward. That's going to help them out a lot.
More to it than just coaching a football game on Friday night. A lot of life lessons to be learned out there.
That's right. A lot of fun with those guys this year. Been a journey, and I'm not ready for it to be over, and I don't think they are either. So,
well, all I know, just keep on winning, brother.
Well, we're going one at a time.
One at a time. Yeah, you can't play 3 until you play 2.
No, you know, we did 4 sprints today. We've been doing this for 7 weeks now.
Right, cutting it down.
Cutting down one sprint each week.
Yes, sir.
I will be in the happiest man on the planet if I get to yell, we're doing 1 sprint today. I told the kids, I said, I cannot wait to say, I'm going to do it with them. But right now, we're going to worry about quitting. A very quality team, and they're certainly going to come down here, and they're not going to want. Hey, they're not going to want their season to be over either.
We appreciate everybody watching tonight. We hope you join us Friday night. The most important thing that I could tell anybody in our audience is we really need your help. You know, and we talk about crowd and the crowd getting into the games or whatever. We need a big crowd this Friday night. I had several people ask me, and I helped people get some tickets last week because they said, you know, I don't know how to do it. If it's difficult for you to get a ticket because you don't know how to go online, you can call me and I'll help you, or I'll get you the ticket. You can pay me back, but I don't want anybody to not go to the game because they can't get on the online or they don't know how to do it. Don't be embarrassed because I can't do it either. I'll have Linda Black do it for us.
Hey, on that note, they had somebody helping at the gate doing that too.
Okay, awesome, great, yeah. We'll get you in the game.
The Magnet coach showed up, and they didn't even know that was the case.
Right,
but they had to do that, so they had somebody helping them at the gate. So if they travel here, we weren't going to turn them away. I guarantee that.
There
if
you
you're
go.
from here, you show up, we're not going to turn you away. We'll find a way to get you.
We'll get you in. You know, I'll help you, or they'll help you at the gate. But come to the ball game Friday night and cheer for our kids. And I mean, it doesn't get any better than the second round of the playoffs. Here we are, Hayden. We're going to try to win a game to get to the next round in Coffee and Donuts. Are you excited about it?
Absolutely. I love coffee and donuts.
Yeah, no. I love it.
That means I'm off for a couple days from work, too.
That's exactly. You like the Thursday, Friday off, don't you?
I'll be deer hunting and coming in there late, get me some coffee and donuts and watch practice and get tuned up.
Let me tell you what we got coming up. We got several things, the Two Chicks birthday report, and then the Bank of England post-game against Magnet Cove, the Unity Health player of the game and the coaches show, that. And then Robert Turner we're going to play Robert Turner's Quitman highlights as opposed to the highlights from this week, and we'll get into that sometime later this week. But I just thought I'd let everybody show what kind of football team's coming in here, and then of course the ending. And guys, I appreciate you as always coming. Hayden, you work hard. Josh, appreciate what you do. Coach, appreciate you coming. And as always, go Hounds. Well, on Monday, today, November the 14th, the birthdays include Bobby Tucker. Denise Garland has a birthday today. Sarah Mathis also has one today. Jerry King, Linda Dunn with a birthday. Mark Jelks, Coach Jelks down at University of Arkansas at Monticello with his 39th birthday today. Joe Brooks with a birthday. Tommy Hargrove, Denver Smith, and Tina Thomas Reynolds all with birthdays on today. Birthdays tomorrow on the 15th include Belinda Boyster. Susan Metcalf Tapp has a birthday tomorrow on the 15th. Pat Davis. Carol Ann Young with a birthday tomorrow. Also, Lauren Ballou. Linda Walton Mullins with a birthday on the 15th. And Renisha White also with a birthday tomorrow. And then later this week, birthdays include Chris Koch, Will Hubbard, Bob Steiger have birthdays. Anna Lee Browning with a birthday on Thursday. AJ Turnage with a birthday on Thursday as well. Evelyn Shermer has a birthday on Thursday, as does Bubba Doss. Greg Dills on Thursday. Anita Hawks Samaniego with a birthday on Friday. Leslie Worthington Keaton has a birthday on Friday. Emily Weinmiller Newman with a birthday on Friday as well. Rihanna Bond has her birthday on Friday. Jody Hutchinson on Saturday. Mark Nicholson on Saturday. Sheila Winkle Grizzle has a birthday on Saturday. Chris Hare also has a birthday on Saturday. Taylor Barker with a birthday on Saturday as well, as does Whitney Anderson, Patrick McGee. Thomas McGarrity has a birthday on Saturday. Stephanie Dew has a birthday Saturday the 19th. And then Kathy Laster has a birthday coming up on Sunday, November the 20th. And we want to say a happy birthday also to Bob Haley, Jerry Beth Hinkle Brown with a birthday on Sunday. And then Miss Linda Bain, Peggy Haynes Bennett has a birthday on Sunday. Kyle Jackson, Artemis Cadcodian has a birthday on Monday. And happy birthday to all of you folks. So happy birthday to everybody from Two Chicks Florist and more.
The Bank of England Mortgage post-game report brought to you by Bank of England Mortgage. Go see Kenny Thaxton or Cheryl Smart Looper for home loans and refinancing options. Check out their refinancing rates by calling their office at 870-495-3931 or Kenny's cell at 501-590-3346. Go Hounds from the class of 1990 Greyhound lending team. And guys, the Hounds win here 50-14. It was all Hounds. Kraut with a couple of touchdowns, Kendall with a couple of touchdowns, Pollard getting one. I believe C.J. Young had a couple. Hounds, not their best football game that they played this year. But nonetheless, it was a win. And so we just checked. We will rematch here against Quitman next week. And what a dandy of a game that will be, because you know those guys want redemption. As far as the game went the last time we played those guys, it was a few plays away from Quitman possibly, being in that football game and winning that football game. But that'll do it here tonight. Hounds win 50-14 as we'll wait to go down to David.
kickoff where community comes first. 25-25 Malcolm Avenue in Newport.
Hounds got the football. Hounds have got the football here, and what a start, Brendan Curry.
Just a crazy start to the football game. Right to the bottom of your screen, Kendall at the top. C.J. Young, the lone running back.
Everybody within
Spearman at a nutback.
6 yards of the line of scrimmage as the give is to Young. Young squeaks through, and he's going to walk in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
9 at Stowe Stables.
And on second down, the give is to Young. Young breaks a tackle. Now across midfield to C.J. Young and goes out of bounds inside the 40-yard line, and a first down here for the Hounds.
That Young.
2nd and 3, Hounds need to get it in the end zone.
How about Braxton? Calls his own number.
Untouched for a score. Makes it 12-6 Greyhounds.
On second and long, looking to throw is Braxton. Braxton throws it up, finds Kendall. As here's the snap, Hounds look to bring pressure. Donahue rolling out, has nowhere to go. How about Abel Robinson and Tavares Davis in the backfield? Put him in the clubhouse.
I'll take that.
Hounds look like they might bring pressure here, and they do. It's blocked. Got to find the football. How about the big man Tyler Ridley refusing to go down, and he's going to be inside the 5 to the 2-yard line.
Look at the left guard gap.
That's why, David. Touchdown, C.J. Young walks in the end zone.
Untouched. Great call. Riley with a good block. Here he comes again.
How about Young? 2-point conversion, good.
Hire this guy.
Good call. Good call, Tim Branham. Got cried on the seam route. Throws it out wide to Kendall. Kendall, stiff arm, refusing to go down, and is slung out of bounds. And a big play right there as Kendall gets up and hurries back to the huddle.
Free football here the last minute 45.
How about Young? Up the middle, Young breaking a tackle and gets outside. C.J. Young, good blocking downfield. Isaiah Kendall is Young goes into the
homecoming festivities.
Isaiah was first and goal from the 3.
Kendall at the top, Cried at the bottom, Spearman at your nutback.
Braxton calls his own number. Dives in the end zone, touchdown. Crowd happy, half the crowd mad. As a jump ball up to Kendall. He went up and got it.
What a toss and what a spectacular catch.
Oh, my goodness.
Just great throw and catch there from Braxton to Kendall. It's going to be 3rd down and 7 for Quitman with 43 seconds to go in the first half.
Here's the snap. Hounds bring pressure. Donahue steps up. Big lick there by Tavares Davis to bring him down.
30.
Here's the snap. Looking to throw. Donahue has nowhere to go. How about Tyler Ridley with a big sack?
Huge sack in the ball game there for Tyler Ridley. Huge push there by the offensive line. Matthew Riley along with Tyler Ridley. Jacob Ozier in there on the O-line. Dylan Carter. Spearman at a nutback.
And Lucas Salinas.
And Lucas Salinas is the other one I couldn't see.
Here's the snap, and they go back to lock. Trying to bounce outside and has nothing. How about big Tyler Ridley? What a game he's had tonight. Here's the snap, and they give it to Hensley again. Not a whole lot of room there. There's a big lick by B.J. Elston. Here's the snap, go to Braxton. Braxton, first down and some more as Braxton's inside to the 35-yard line, and a big first down here for the Hounds.
Just worst case scenario, be out of this with a tie.
Rolling out, it's picked off.
Hounds keep the lead here, 28-26. 2-point conversion is no good, so the Hound defense holds there.
Tavares Davis picks that one off. Snap, Braxton throws out wide to Crite. Crite, get off of me. Kylan Crite with another stiff arm, breaks another tackle. Kylan Crite refusing to go down. And a big play here for the Hounds.
All effort there by Kylan Crite, just the play of the game.
Snap, Braxton looking to throw. Goes to Crite. Crite goes up and gets it. What a play, Kylan Crite. Give it to a playmaker.
We need a Bratcher real estate touchdown right here, Benny boy.
First and goal from the 3 now.
Pollard is the running back. Crite at the bottom, Kendall at the top.
Braxton walks in untouched. Touchdown Greyhounds. Braxton up the middle, 2-point conversion good. Big third down here. Donahue calls his own number, bears a big lick. How about Spearman? Put him in the clubhouse and it's stuffed.
Woo! Put him in the clubhouse, baby, with a fat head hit of the week to Ron Spearman.
Ball on the ground. I think Big Abel's got the football.
We'll wait for the signal from the referees. Stripe says we got it, guys. First down, Hounds.
Snap, Braxton. Quick out to Crite. Crite made a guy look silly. Ball on the ground. And it looks like Spearman's going to jump on it.
Karan Spearman with a brilliant move to push that guy out of the way because he was fixed to fall on it. Just a heads-up football play move right there by Spearman.
Throw it up to him.
Donahue steps up in the pocket, throws it up. How about Tonio Phillips with a pick?
Touchdown.
He's going to go the distance. The 10th grader sophomore, Tonio Phillips.
I've got him for 65 plus.
That's it, David.
That should seal the deal there for the Greyhounds. Puts them up 42-26 over Quitman with 2:47 to play in the ball game.
Snap, Braxton puts his head down. It looks like he's got it. 2-point conversion is good.
The year before, you just try to build on those things. And hey, a win is a win is a win. So I will take it. Hounds win, final score 44-26. C.J. Young wins the Bill Keedy Memorial Scholarship Award. Well deserving there. Some representation from Jake Keedy, Coach Keedy's grandson, Miss Jennifer Keedy, Billy Keedy Jr., and Miss Brandy Keedy. All staples in the Greyhound household.
This opportunity to thank all of our sponsors on Cable 15 TV, Facebook Live, Sports Unleashed. And that list is long, and we certainly appreciate all of them, or we wouldn't be able to put these programs together. Included in that list is C&M Ag Depot at 2900 Highway 367 North. Farm supplies, hardware, clothing store, power tools, you name it. Before you shop out of town, come see us at C&M Ag Depot. Dia Scrap Metal, buying cars, iron, copper, cans, brass, steel, stainless, electric motors. They buy everything and they pay in real money. Give them a call at 523-3858 for more information. Fletcher Land Survey. Before you build that fence, make sure you have accurate boundaries. If you don't, you might mess up and have to tear it down. Give Kenny a call at 523-5625. Other sponsors include Fathead Pizza. That's one word and it's all caps. And it's the Hembry Brothers, Joey and Marcus. Great pizza, fresh, hot sandwiches, and the salad supreme that's second to none. You can call your order in at 870-201-1313. They'll have it ready to go. It'll be piping hot when you pick it up. Delta Trailer, been involved for 50 plus years right here in Newport, Arkansas. Dale Lee started this business many years ago in his backyard. And he built one trailer, and then one trailer went to two trailers, and then the third trailer, and then pretty soon it's a multi-trailer business, sending trailers all across the United States and Canada. These guys do it right, and let me tell you, there's no better family in Jackson County than the Eves family. And then also Temp Pro. Ask about financing on new upgrades. Sam and John Lester are the guys. Give them a call at 501-827-3213. White River Health. Caring beyond health care. This is David Black for Cable 15 TV and Sports Unleashed. Thank you. See you next week.